Facebook, Instagram family, what's good, what's good? This is Leaf with Leaf Fitness, Spirituality, Tarot, and Astrology. What's good, what's good, what's good? So, we are one day after the partial lunar eclipse in Scorpio. This energy is very, very deep. So, yeah, there'll be some people going through some things in this next week to month, really, because we got two eclipses this month. We got the lunar eclipse coming up in Taurus on the 28th. So we do have some events coming up. But today I want to talk about something very interesting because a friend of mine, she wrote a very interesting post. She said, what do you think is missing in the community? Okay, and being as though she's an African American, we're going to talk about the African American community because she lives in the African American community. Okay, she is also a Gemini. All right, and we're going to get back to that a little bit later. So when she wrote the post, what do you think the community is missing? I wrote knowledge of self, period. Okay, I'm looking at all of the answers on the post, and everybody just saying the same thing. We need community leaders. We need money to build schools. We need all of this stuff that is irrelevant when we're talking about knowledge of self and what the community needs. Okay, so first of all, let's understand that we need to know what a community is, because most African American people, and I say this respectfully, do not understand what a community is. Okay, when you ask the average person what is a community, they're going to say a place where predominantly one race live. Like you got the black community, you got the white community, you got the Jewish community, and that is incorrect. Okay? A community consists of a hospital, a bank, and a school, and a supermarket that is owned by a specific race. That's a community, okay? So if there's no ownership of anything, you do not have a community, okay? What African American people must understand is all we have in this country is a residence. That's all we have, because we do not own the property and the land that we live on. Most of us. There's a small percentage of us that owns land. Everything else is owned by other people, mostly Jewish people. Okay, and there's that topic again. Okay, that everyone wants to run from, but we're not going to be able to run from it in the age of Aquarius. Okay, it's coming. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. Mr. Kanye West. Okay, that's going to be a video I'm going to do next. So anyway, let's talk about what a community needs and self-knowledge. Okay, first of all, if you do not have knowledge of self, then there's no knowledge on how to build a community, or no knowledge of how to build a relationship. Okay, because most of us do not understand ourselves. Okay, we're all ego driven. All right, and that's the battle in life, is to not allow your ego to cause you self-sabotaging behaviors and repeating patterns. And that's what most of us are going through every day. Self-sabotaging behaviors and repeating patterns because we think we really know who we are. We have no self-knowledge of who we are. This is why we can kill each other so easily. This is why we can say, I hate you, and this is why we can say all of these things, because there's no knowledge of self. It's just all individualism. Okay? It's all individualism. Right? So let's talk about knowledge of self. If you ask most people, what is your sign? They're going to give you an answer. Okay? Let me tell you what the sad thing is. Why would you call yourself something that you don't believe in, number one? And why would you call yourself something and never research what it is? Why would you do that? And this is what African-American people have to understand. I'm not putting nobody down. I'm telling people you have to think now. Okay? The days of just living and having fun and all of that is over. We have to start realizing that there are a lot of things that we need to go back and look at, because the things that we have been doing have been causing our demise and causing us not to have communities, not to have peace, not to have money. Okay? We have to understand that it's our own self-undoing. Okay? The being determined not to learn anything. I know what I know. I know what I was told, and I believe that. Listen, how has that gotten you so far? How has that gotten you so far? I ask anybody. Okay? I ask anybody. Have what you believed in gotten you what you wanted? Because if it hasn't, that's a problem. That's a problem. And you know what? We can't connect that dot. Because we were told to just have blind faith. We were told to just have blind faith. And that having blind faith is good sometime, but that cannot be your moral standard and your moral basis, because nothing will come 90% of the time if you do nothing. And that's what we've been doing for 400 or 500 years. Nothing. We're waiting on this miracle that's been now over 2,000 years that hasn't delivered anything but pain, misery, suffering, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse. And this is just the reality. We have to stop and start really thinking. We got to get into the reality here. Okay? So if you calling yourself a Libra and you don't believe in astrology, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's an identity problem. Okay, I'm a Libra. It's Libra season. Then somebody try to tell you about your chart and what you are, that you're more than one sign. Then you say, I don't believe in that. Y'all don't think that's a problem? Y'all don't think that that's a mental dysfunction? A psychological dysfunction? This is what the community needs. It needs a new identity. We need to be reintroduced to ourselves through astrology. Because the old way has been nothing but suffering, pain, depression, sadness, sickness, all of that. Because we refuse to change and seek knowledge of self. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Your birth natal chart is absolutely free. I've given people so many charts. Even my friend who did this post has her chart. And when I said self-knowledge, and she said, how do we do that? Now, I don't know how she could ask me that. That threw me off. But that just tells you how people don't connect to nothing. She's had her chart for years. Had her chart for years. And I'm gonna break down Gemini, okay? In the deepest way, all right? We're not playing when it comes to the astrology, all right? What I'm trying to get people to understand is you're multifaceted. You're not one sign, okay? You're not. You're not one person. You're more than one person. But Gemini, of all the signs, is the most difficult energy because it's a twin dual personality. It's two people. And it's very complex. It's very complex. Okay? I'm going to break it down for you. Gemini is the twins, okay? The twin people. okay? So when we have twins, understand there are 3 elements of twins. You can have twin boys, you can have twin girls, or you can have a twin boy and a twin girl. And a Gemini can be any one of those 3, personality-wise. And the most difficult energy is the boy-girl Gemini, especially with females. The boy-girl Gemini is a very difficult energy with females, especially when you put that energy with water in your chart. If you got Pisces in your chart, Cancer in your chart, Scorpio in your chart, that is a very difficult energy for a Gemini person, a Gemini sun person. Their birthday sign is Gemini. It's a very difficult energy to balance. So when you don't have that knowledge of self, you'll go out in this world and be self-destructing. You'll self-destruct because part of you wants to be in love, the Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer side of you, but the Gemini side of you don't want no parts of that. Don't want no emotional attachments. And you will battle with that all your life, hot and cold energy. But because you don't have knowledge of self, you'll keep blaming everybody else. It ain't me, it's them. Or if you're a real cold Gemini like Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Mercury, you know, with a Pisces Venus, you could be totally detached of emotions. Don't have any emotions at all. At all. Like somebody break up with you, you don't care on no level. I don't care. And be gone. And the other person will never understand that. And this is what I mean why the community is so out of control. You got millions of people who don't even understand who they are. They have no knowledge of self. They just wake up and operate. The energy is operating them. They don't even understand that they're being operated by several energies, and they're just reacting to what they see and what they hear with no internal connection of control. You have to be able to understand your triggers and catch them before they come. If not, you're going to dysfunction every time. You're going to dysfunction every time. Like the fire signs, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo. You guys have to always watch your tone when you're talking to people, because to some people it sounds like you're talking at them and not to them. They don't understand that you're passionate like that. But when you don't have knowledge of self and don't know that, you'll be creating enemies all over the place, because if you're dealing with anybody with water or earth in their sign, they looking at you like she thinks she bossy, she talk too much, she all of that. She arrogant, blah, blah, blah. And all it is that you're very logical, intelligent, and you like to communicate a lot. They're the absolute opposite, okay? They're practical, they're introverted, okay? And they like to chill. They're the homemakers, the providers, you know? And this is what we don't understand at all. And like I told anybody, your birth natal chart is free, and I can explain everything to you, all right? So I'm gonna leave it at that. What we need in the community is knowledge of self. That's what we need. If you're an Aries, you cannot always be right, and you gotta pick and choose who you argue those battles with. Everybody isn't worth that argument, okay? I'm doing all 12 signs, all right? If you're a Taurus, if you are unwilling to change in any area of your life, it'll never work, no matter what you do. Geminis, at some point, you have to deal with emotional attachments to people. Okay? You cannot keep ghosting and throwing people away like it's nothing, because at the end of the day, when you finally do meet somebody, you're going to get the same thing happen to you. And you're never going to know who that person is. It's just going to come out, you're going to like somebody, think everything is great, and what your history is, that's what you're going to get. Okay? The next sign is Cancer. Cancers, the reality with you guys is you got to see your family for who they are. If not, you're going to keep getting that same old cycle over and over and over again. And you Cancers know what I'm talking about. Next sign is Leo. Leos, understand this. It is okay to be number 2, all right? At the end of the day, you can come off as being very arrogant and very cocky because of your high standards, all right? Virgo, perfection is only in your mind. Ain't nobody else thinking about being perfect. The more and more you keep on trying to make people perfect and see things your way, you're going to analyze and over-criticize everything, even yourself. Okay, understand that perfection is something that you strive, and that's something that you should strive for and not try to make everybody else strive for that. Okay? Next sign is Libra. Libra, at the end of the day, confrontation is a must. Okay, you cannot keep on people-pleasing to make everything go right, because if you do, people are going to walk all over you and take advantage of you. Next sign, Scorpio. Scorpio, listen, you got to trust somebody, okay? And at the end of the day, you cannot make anybody do what you want them to do or be what you want them to be, period. You only can control what you do. Next sign, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, at the end of the day, understand that everybody does not need to know what's on your mind directly and bluntly all the time, okay? Sometimes you got to learn how to sugarcoat to the people who need to be sugarcoated, all right? Because you can hurt people's feelings with the way that you express things. Next sign is Capricorn. Capricorn, at the end of the day, you got to come home from work. Okay? You got to come home from work, and you got to learn how to communicate more, okay? Everybody cannot deal with a workaholic. Even though you're making a lot of money and you're trying to be the CEO of the company, you must understand how to balance work life, home life. Next sign is Aquarius. Aquarius, it is okay to tell someone that you love them and that you care about them, okay? You must connect to your feelings and be able to communicate them in order to get the happiness that you want, okay? Last but not least is Pisces. Pisces, don't nothing come to a sleeper but a dream. And even though you love your dreams, dreams are not reality. And at some point, you got to come out and make those dreams a reality, or you will just continue to sleep and dream and commit self-sabotaging behaviors and possibly catch addictions. Food, drugs, alcohol, whatever you can be addicted to, that's what you'll do. All right? So guys, listen, birth natal charts are free. You can reach me on any platform, Facebook, Instagram, Leaf Fitness, Spirituality, Tarot, and Astrology. If you would like your charts read, that is a service. Multiple charts are a service. I would suggest everyone get their chart. The first chart is free. I would tell every mother and father, get the charts of your children. It is very important. After you read your chart, I guarantee you will see why. All right? So guys, this is Lee. One love.